Maybe you've heard the name Nelson Mandela. Maybe you've heard of Yasser Arafat. Maybe you've heard of Ramallah, the capital of the Palestinians. Maybe you've read somewhere of Tel en Nasbe, of Mizpah, and the judge, Samuel. In this lecture, I'm going to show you the relationship of all of them. I found them in my research on one specific site. One of the greatest blessings in life is the discovery of new places, new people, new feelings. By the way, at times you have to pay a price in your search for new adventure. But it's worth it. Pay the price, but don't be static. Be progressive. Now you're looking at the ruins of ancient Mizpah, in the capital of the Palestinians, Ramallah. What did Winston Churchill say to the price of victory during the Second World War? I promise you what? Blood, sweat, and tears. I shed blood, tears, and sweat in my research to find eventually this very important site. This picture was taken in the capital of Ramallah. Look at this. Who's this man standing here? If you do not recognize this man, he is called Nelson Mandela. You will hear more about him in a minute during the lecture. And then this is a mausoleum, Nobel Prize winner. Who was he? The other well-known name here at Ramallah is Yasser Arafat. You can visit the mausoleum in the capital. I'm going to give you some of the quotes of these celebrities. He says, I come bearing an olive branch in one hand and the freedom fighter's gun in the other. Do not let the olive branch fall from my hand. Yasser Arafat. Choose your friends carefully. Your enemies will choose you. Let us be worthy of those who pin their hopes on us. May God bless you with success. You know, these men gave us something to think about. Now the other name is Tel en Nasbe. And after many hours of research for Mizpah, I found it in Ramallah, the capital of the Palestinians. And this place is called Tel en Nasbe. Perseverance is the master of defeat. You know, at times I want to give up. It's hard work. It's not easy to study. There's such a lot to study. But perseverance is the master of defeat. And if you feel like giving up right now, remember these words. Perseverance is the master of defeat. You can only defeat the enemy by perseverance. You're looking at the ruins of one of the most fascinating cities mentioned in the Bible and in archaeology. You will notice there are no tourists around here. No buses with hundreds of eager, curious people walking all over the place, examining the ruins. I love to visit these isolated, forgotten places and let their story relive again. The time I spent in searching for this site was mega. But the reward I found transcended the blood, sweat, and tears. What do you see in the background? You will notice that these ruins are surrounded by modern buildings. And I was just wondering when I visited here, how long these ruins would be able to withstand the encroaching, hungry modern developments. No one knows. But this site is still preserved in this marvelous capital. Before asking these ancient ruins of the mighty, famous city of Mizpah to tell us its story, let's listen to a few words of wisdom from Nelson Mandela. During my first visit, I did not notice this huge statue. I had to get out of the bus to come a little closer. I was so surprised. You know, when you do research, you get surprises, bonuses that you've not earned. There is a slight difference, as you will notice, in the sizes of him and I, in more than one instance. I'm a nothing. He's a world celebrity. One of the most difficult things is not to change society, but to change yourself. This is wisdom. Change yourself. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. If you've got a dream, never gives up. Give up. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. I love this. People respond in accordance to how you treat them. Have you discovered this? If you're nasty, you'll get a nasty response. If you're kind and smiling, it'll come back to you. Thank you, Nelson. I love this. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we've made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. And this is the message of the Bible. It's not about you, your pain. Concentrate on the other person's pain. This gives meaning to life. Do not judge my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got up again. I like this. I never lose. I either win or learn. It always seems impossible until it's done. This first one is, I like this. This is so positive. I never lose. I either win or learn. Through your mistakes, you learn a lesson. That's the way to look at your mistakes. Don't have regrets. Have some didactic experience, learning experiences. Then King Asa brought all the men of Judah, and they carried away from Ramah, and I've been to the site, the stones and timber of Baasha had been using. With them he built up Geba and Mizpah. Some more interesting info. Was King Asa a master builder? Yes. Would this reinforced Mizpah be used again? You know, we build, and we should build for generations after us. This recent excavation at Jerusalem identified the site where Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the huge wall and entered Jerusalem. But where was his army stationed during the siege of the city? And this is what I love about research. I asked these stones to tell me more about this administrative seat of the province of Judah. They said that Gedaliah was appointed as governor by Nebuchadnezzar at this site, at Mizpah. Mizpah, with its high, huge defense walls of 8 meters high, was the temporary safe city during the time of Nebuchadnezzar. Chosen by the Babylonians after the destruction of Jerusalem in 586 as the administrative seat of the province of Judah and residency city of Gedaliah, their appointed governor. So Nebuchadnezzar was here. He lived here for a while. Gedaliah was here. Yasser Arafat was here. Nelson Mandela was here. Samuel was here. Many people were here. And to do research gives one satisfaction. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, appointed Gedaliah, and here we have another theophoric name where you have God's name in this, Yahweh. Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, to be over the people he had left behind in Judah. Remember, he destroyed the entire city. And now he had to look after his victory. So he appointed this Gedaliah as the governor. Now Nebuchadnezzar was a diplomat. He appointed a beloved ruler of the land under Babylonian administration. Any archaeological confirmation about this? A seal impression, reading belonging to Gedaliah, a little different in spelling, who is over the house, has been discovered at Lachish. Hey, this is great. Gedaliah came from a family of high rank. Archaeology says yes. You can believe the Bible, it is not a myth. When all the army officers and their men heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah as governor, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah, this interesting site. Ishmael is the enemy, son of Nethaniah. Johanan, son of Kareah. Seraiah, son of Tanhumeth, the Netophathite. Jazaniah, the son of Makathite, and their men. Names. What's the story of names, man? Will they ever find a name like, for instance, Yazaniah? Will they ever find it at Mizpah? They found it. There it is. The onyx seal found at Mizpah, dating to this period and bearing inscription belonging to Yazaniah, the servant of the king. But that's not all. Let me show you what I found in the British Museum. Same time, and you'll find the information in Jeremiah 39 verse 3, where a name is mentioned. One of the eunuchs, Nebuchadnezzar, the Bible mentions his name, is written on this clay tablet. And the other one is Nergal-Sharezer. Nergal is a god of death and plagues. One of the gates of Nineveh is also called the Nergal Gate. Nergal-Sharezer became king of Babylon. Names. And here they find these names in archaeology. I love the Bible. More than 100 names mentioned in the Bible have been discovered by archaeologists. And it's continuing. What happened to Gedaliah here at Mizpah? And what happened to the prophet Jeremiah after the death of the governor Gedaliah, who was murdered by Ishmael? This is a beautiful story. Poor Jeremiah. The stones told me of his heartbreaking experience leaving his beloved country. They forced him to go to Egypt. What precious favor was extended to Jeremiah by Nebuchadnezzar before they deported him to Egypt. Let's read the verse. Now Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, gave charge concerning Jeremiah to Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, saying, now listen what Nebuchadnezzar told them to do about Jeremiah. Take him, rescue him, and look after him, and do him no harm, but do to him just as he says to you. There was a relationship between Nebuchadnezzar and Jeremiah. Maybe they will discover a clay tablet or two telling us more about Nebuchadnezzar and Jeremiah meeting here at this very site, Mizpah. Before moving to the next excitement of this ancient tale of Mizpah, let's look at another Mandela quote. Forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear. That is why it is such a powerful weapon. Fight with forgiveness, not resentment. There can be no greater gift than that of giving one's time and energy to help others. And then this, without expecting anything in return. Unselfish giving. This is the gospel. Tell me, who do you think is represented in this painting? An old man? A long, big man? 1 Samuel 10 verse 17. Then Samuel called the people together to the Lord at Mizpah. What an interesting sight. Why? He was going to introduce to the people their new chosen king. And this happened at Mizpah. Tel En Nasbe. Ramallah. So many things happened here. Therefore they inquired of the Lord further, has the man come here yet? That's the new king. And the Lord answered, there he is, hidden among the equipment. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near their families, the family of Matri was chosen, and Saul, the son of Kish, was chosen. But when they sought him, he could not be found. Man, he hid somewhere. It happened at Mizpah. They ran and brought him from there. And when he stood among the people, he was taller than any of the people from his shoulders upward. And Samuel said to all the people, this all happened at Mizpah, do you see him whom the Lord has chosen? And there is no one like him among the people. So all the people shouted and said, long live the king. Emotions, Saul, Samuel, you. It all happened here. You know, when you read the Bible, just stop and imagine. Like here we are at Mizpah. Can you see this huge king? Can you see Samuel, the people? And then think of the emotions. How did Samuel feel? They rejected him. They wanted a king. Where is Loretta looking? She is looking at the site of ancient Shiloh. For how many years did Samuel labor in Shiloh before summoning people to Shiloh? Samuel was brought up at Shiloh from a young age. He served there. And then something happened. Shiloh ceased to exist. Only recently have they really discovered Shiloh through archaeology. What happened to Samuel when the Philistines captured the ark and destroyed Shiloh? He lost his job. The ark was gone. The people were gone. And then he became a minister. He worked for 20 years trying to educate these people concerning the God of heaven and earth. Then Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, if you return to the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the foreign gods and the Ashtoreths from among you. Where did this happen? At Mizpah. He called them to meet him at Mizpah. And prepare your hearts for the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you from the hand of the Philistines. So the children of Israel put away the Baals and the Ashtoreths and serve the Lord only. And Samuel said, gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray the Lord for you. This is interesting history. Somewhere here at Mizpah, prayers ascended to heaven. How would God respond to their prayers? How does He respond to your prayers? So they gathered together at Mizpah, drew water, and poured it out before the Lord. Can you see this? Draw water, poured it out before the Lord. And they fasted that day. They didn't eat. And said there, and this is so beautiful, we have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel at Mizpah. What does it mean? Judged. This was the beginning of Samuel's long role as the judge of Israel. Here at Mizpah is an evidence of their determination to obey the instructions they had heard. They invested Samuel with the authority of a judge. Perseverance is the master of defeat. Working all his life, and only here, the end, he was appointed the judge, the best they ever had. What an experience to stand at the site where the greatest of all judges was inaugurated, right here at Mizpah. In pouring out this libation at Mizpah, Israel expressed recognition of their own unworthiness and solemnly rejoiced at their newfound trust in a heavenly Father who, in spite of their spiritual wandering, was willing to receive them with open arms. What a story. Now, how do you think the Philistine spies responded to this nationwide gathering? They sent messages to the 5 Philistine cities. They talked by smoke signals, and in hours, the mighty Philistine army was here. Now the Philistines heard that the children of Israel had gathered together at Mizpah. The lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard of it, they were afraid of the Philistines. Afraid of the Philistines. Now, these Philistines attacked with such speed that the Israelites, assembled from various parts of the country with peaceful intentions, were compelled to meet them, unprepared for warfare. And there was only one thing they could do: pray. You know, sometimes tragedy strikes without notice. And this tells me there's only one thing to do: pray. So the children of Israel said to Samuel, "Do not cease to cry out to the Lord our God for us, that He may save us from the hand of the Philistines." There come moments of testing to all men, each in his own sphere of activity. Can you see them here at Mizpah? The mighty Philistine armies approaching. Samuel, do not stop praying. Don't cease praying, please. They had given up their idols. Would God save them? Yes. What was the next step? The next step that Samuel took. This is such a beautiful story. Listen. And Samuel took a suckling lamb, symbol of the lamb, and offered it, symbolism, offered it as a whole burnt offering to the Lord. Then Samuel cried out to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord answered him. Symbol of the Lamb, the Messiah, the Redeemer of the past, the present, and the future. What happened when Samuel sacrificed the lamb on that day at Mizpah? And what happens to you and me when we offer God the Father the lamb? Now, as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a loud thunder upon the Philistines that day, and so confused them that they were overcome before Israel. Just recently, I heard thunder. Thunder is never without lightning. Offering the lamb, and at the same time, simultaneously, the Philistines attacked them. And at the same time, loud thunder, confusion, and defeat. What caused the victory? The lamb. My dear friend, if you need victory, try the lamb. Try the lamb. In what way do we see a display of God's love in this event? How did God react to the confession of the thief upon the cross? How does he react to you and me when we come to him? They renounced their idols and confessed their backsliding from the Lord. In this spirit of humiliation, they witnessed the forgiving love of God. He embraced them in his loving, protecting arms of no reproach. You know, sometimes my wife reproaches me, and I said, please, no, I need encouragement. The Lord will not reproach you when you come to him after you've made a mess. No reproach. This is the God we serve. We reproach one another, but he will never reproach you. He'll accept you with open arms. Symbol of these lonely, bending over forgotten trees at Mizpah. Mizpah is a symbol of God who bends down and picks up his confessing children who forsook their ways of evil. Salvation and restoration happens in a split second. You can have the assurance of salvation in a second, my friend. Just say to God, I'm sorry. And you saved. And the men of Israel went out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines and drove them back as far as below Beth-kar. Beth means house. Fleeing southward, the Philistines probably took the easiest road back to the plain country, which would lead them through Beth-shemesh to Ekron. Beth-shemesh, here's the site. Great excavations is going on there. Can you see the fleeing Philistines over here, harassed by Israel? You know, God graciously gave them at once a victory and beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning. Ruins of Mizpah, they tell a story of what happened to one of their colleagues. One of these colleagues, these stones, were taken away. Guess where they took it? Man, I love this. Then Samuel took a stone, that's from Mizpah, set it up between Mizpah and Shen, and called its name Ebenezer, saying, thus far the Lord has helped us. Literally, stone of the help, referring definitely to the providential difference just mentioned. As the help had been specific, so the memorial was to be of a definite permanent form, also specific. So where is Samuel going with the stone from Mizpah, where a great victory was gained? There's an interesting signboard at Afek. Now Afek is opposite the military base called Ebenezer. So he takes the stone to Ebenezer. What happened between the Philistines and Israel at Arafat and Ebenezer? Let's read. You know, the stone, monument of victory, was erected where Israel previously lost a battle against the Philistines. And here you're looking at the ruins where it happened. Now, they celebrate a victory over the same enemy. Here at Ebenezer, they lost a battle against the Philistines. Now they celebrate a victory with a stone from Mizpah that was erected right here. A victory over the same enemy. Maybe you lost the battle at Ebenezer at some time. The Lord wants you to go back to that same place with a stone from Mizpah, a stone of victory. Samuel wished Israel to understand that the Lord's help was there only as from day to day they obeyed, worshipped Him, and not once for all, irrespective of the attitude. Religion is the biggest business there is. This is not one day in a week. It's minute by minute. Whatever you do, pray about it. Stay in a mode of prayer. It is well for the Christian to go back constantly to the Ebenezers of life, where providential deliverances came to crown distrust of self, a full surrender, and a trust in God. So the Philistines were subdued, and they did not come anymore into the territory of Israel. The fact that God upon this occasion delivered them from the enemy was only an earnest, a guarantee of future providence. Then the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron to Gath. And Israel recovered territory from the hands of the Philistines. And there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. What you and I have lost through disobedience, God will restore to us. When Jesus comes, we will receive that sinless character which we have lost through sin. You gain so much when you forsake sin and accept God and obey Him. Mizpah becomes a type of another watchtower. This is what it means, Mizpah watchtower. So Mizpah becomes a type of another watchtower, the watchtower of Calvary. When another enemy, Satan and his host of cruel angels, charged upon us to destroy us because of our sins, God the Father sacrificed the Lamb. On another hill, Mizpah, Calvary, He sacrificed Jesus the Lamb that takes away the sins of the world. The Lord thundered with a loud thunder upon the Philistines that day, and so confused them that they were overcome before Israel. What happened when Jesus, the Lamb of God, was sacrificed on Calvary? A hoarse rumbling, like heavy thunder, was heard. What happened at Mizpah happened on Calvary. Satan and his angels trembled at Calvary when the Father sacrificed His Son. There was loud thunder, confused the devil. Vivid lightnings flashed and revealed the cross and the crucified Redeemer. At Mizpah, that lightning also revealed the Lamb in the arms of Samuel. And the enemy saw the Lamb through the lightning and the thunder. The symbol of the Lamb at Mizpah is revealed again on Calvary. Satan and his angels trembled because the Lamb offered salvation for his subjects. The devil doesn't want to lose you. The spotless Son of God hung upon the cross. Can you see it? He's naked. His flesh lacerated with stripes. 103 of them. Those hands so often reached out in blessing, nailed to the wooden bars. Those feet so tireless on ministries of love, spiked to the tree. That royal head pierced by the crown of thorns. Those quivering lips could hardly speak, shaped to the cry of woe. And all that he endured, the blood drops that flowed from his head, his hands, his feet, the agony that racked his frame, and the unutterable anguish that filled his soul at the hiding of his Father's face, speaks to each child of humanity, declaring, "It is for thee that the Son of God consents to bear this burden of guilt. For thee he spoils the domain of death and opens the gates of paradise. He who stilled the angry waves and walked the foam-capped billows, who made devils tremble and disease flee, who opened blind eyes and called forth the dead to life, offers himself upon the cross as a sacrifice, and this from love to you and me." Recently I visit Calvary quite often. Somehow they allow me up there. It's a Muslim graveyard and you cannot go there. On Calvary a lamb saved a world. Confess and forsake your sins. Present to Jesus the Lamb to the Father and experience victory over evil. At Mizpah, a lamb saved a nation. Here on Calvary, a lamb saved you, saved me. Confess and forsake your sins. Present Jesus, the Lamb, to the Father and experience victory over the devil. Father in heaven, thank you for the story of Mizpah, the story of Samuel, the story of the Lamb, the lightning, the thunder. But above all, thank you for another Mizpah, Calvary, where another lamb was sacrificed for us. Amen. Thank you for watching this presentation. To subscribe to our channel, click here, then click the bell to get notifications. For the next presentation, click here. See you next time.